Good morning. Story time. Spooky story time for Halloween. This one is a story about the house I live in right now. And it's a story about my granddaughter. This story happened the day after she turned 4 years old. So this was in November, this story happened. And it was unusual because it was the first time that anyone had seen something in this house together, where there was more than one person who saw it at the same time. You can say hi to, this is my dog, by the way. This is one of my dogs. His name is Nose, and it means I don't know in Spanish, and in English, spells nose. So anyway, on this particular day in November, and it's cold where I live, my husband and I came home, and we were the only ones at home. And he told me that he was going to go back to go to the bathroom and he was going to be there a while. That's an important part of the story. He was going to be there a while. My house is 70 feet long. And if someone is in one end of the house, like where I am right now, you don't know if there is someone in the back part of the house. You wouldn't see them, you wouldn't hear them, nothing, because the house is so big. So that day, I came and sat down in my chair. He went off to the very far back end, back in the totally opposite corner of the house, bathroom. And I was sitting, I had turned on the TV, I was watching a little TV. It was starting to get dusky. And at that point, my grandchildren came home. I had a little granddaughter and her older brother and their mom live in an apartment that we have off of our house. And so my granddaughter came in and she immediately goes over to the big bay window that's in my house. You can see the light reflecting from it. It's probably 7 to 8 feet long. It's a huge window. And I looked where she was looking and I could see the TV reflecting in the window. By the way, this window has 5 separate windows across it, 5 of them. So it's huge. And it's a really big window. So anyway, she's looking out that window. And so I turn to look in my chair, and I see her watching the window. And I'm thinking, what is she looking at? Is she looking at the reflection of the TV in the window? And as she's doing this, she starts to take a couple of steps forward. And I look again because I can't tell what she's looking at. And as I do that, I see walking across the 4th and 5th panes of the window, a man wearing a flannel shirt outside the window. So like on the sidewalk in front of my window, there's a little garden outside the window with a sidewalk in front of it that leads to the front door of the house, back halfway back the house. And I stood up when I saw that because I couldn't figure out why there was somebody in my yard. And she starts running toward this guy and she says, "Papa." And I said, "Honey, that's not Papa. That's not Papa. Papa's in the back of the house and he is in the bathroom." And at that moment, she turned, and I tell you, in all of the things that I have seen on a child that age, I've never seen the look of fear that she had in her eyes that day. And she ran back to me and she hugged my legs. And so the first thing we did was we went to the front door to see if there was somebody there. There was absolutely nobody there. And when we started to talk about it, I said to her, "It's okay not to, don't be afraid, don't be afraid. It's okay. We just now know you can see those kind of things." So we started then to talk about it. And she said he was see-through when I saw him in the first window. But as he walked toward the second and third window, he got a little bit more solid. And I could see that he was wearing a shirt like what Papa wears. And then when he went past the 4th and 5th window, he started to get see-through again. And so we thought that was a very interesting thing. We went outside, took a look around. There was nobody out there. Nobody. And my husband was still in the bathroom, and he's the only man that lives in the house. So we started to talk about that. And we had a suspicion for a while that the person that we had seen before in this house, inside the house actually, was the man who built this house, a man by the name of Bill. And for my next story, I'll tell you what happened when my grandson, who's a little bit older than my granddaughter, encountered him and had an actual conversation with him. Have a great day.